So the next thing I'm going to do is to kind of maintain the sequence of those accounting items. So notice in the income statement, the ordering of accounting items is very kind of that follows a standard. Okay, so you start with the total revenue, you subtract the cost of goods sold, or here it's called cost of revenue, and you get the gross profit. Then you subtract the operating expenses and so on. So the sequence of those items presented here actually follows that kind of standard ordering. Okay, so later on when you kind of transform the structure of the data, you actually want to keep that sequence there. Okay, however, just looking at the names, there's no way we can actually keep track of this ordering. So I want to introduce a kind of a sequence number for each of those items. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to use this add column tab, and I'm going to add a index column. Okay, and from the drop-down list, I will let it start from 0. Okay. All right, so this index is being added here. Okay, so take a look at this report for 1985. Okay, starts from total revenue and so on and so forth, all the way to here. Okay, when we get to the row 30, that's the last item for this annual income statement. All right, so then start from row 31. Okay, for the index actually starts from 0 and ends at 29 for this cycle of 1985. Then for this cycle of 1986, again we start at total revenue, and this is going to be the index 30, and it's going to keep going and go until I think it's going to go until 59. For the index value is going to be 59. Indeed, when we get to 59, that's going to be the last item for year 1986. So the second cycle ends. Now we start the third cycle, which is the income statement for 1987. And here, again, we start with total revenue, and the index started with 60 and ends with, I think it's going to end with, yes, indeed, 89. Okay, so there's a pattern. So basically, there's always 30 items in 1 year of the income statement. After one cycle, we're going to start again, another 30 items, going to repeat for the second year, and then another 30 items for the third year. So we're going to take advantage of this kind of going round and round for every 30 items. Okay, so I'm going to utilize this thing called, let's go to actually I'm going to first click on this index. Okay, I'm going to utilize this recycling every 30 items. Okay, for every 30 items we're going to recycle again. All right, so to take advantage of that, I'm going to use this standards. Actually, I'm not going to add column. I'm going to transform. Well, actually, I would just do this add column. Okay, I'm going to add a new column instead of just transform this index column. I'm going to add a new column. So I'm going to go add column tab, and I'm going to go to this standard, and from the drop down list I'm going to choose this Modulo. Okay, Modulo means enter a number from which to find the remainder for each value in the column. Okay, so I'm going to divide this index by a certain number here and only keep the remainder from that division. Okay, so I'm going to give a value of 30. Basically, when this index value is divided by 30 and I'm only taking the remainder of this operation, then you see I will only get those the items going from 0 to 29. That's going to start again from 0 to 29. Okay, because I'm only going to take the remainder from this division. All right, so take a look. When I put a 30 here and I click OK, now this Modulo is going to be added here. Okay, so start from 0 and go all the way to 29. okay? And when the index gets to 30, when I divide 30 by 30, again, the remainder is going to be 0, okay? And when I divide 31 by 30, the remainder is going to be 1, okay? So this cycle is going to repeat again. So when we get to 59, the remainder, 59 divided by 30, the remainder is going to be 29. Then we get to 60, and 60 divided by 30, again, the remainder is going to be 0 again. So the cycle is going to restart for the third time for this third year. Okay, so by doing this, taking this modulo, we are actually having a sequence of those accounting items starting from 0 to 29, then again start from 0 to 29, and we will repeat this cycle every year, okay, for this data set. So that's a kind of smart way of constructing a sequence number for those accounting items. So now I can delete this index. I don't need this column anymore. I will just right click this and remove. And I'm going to call this, instead of modulo, I'm going to call it item number. Okay. And I'm going to, instead of making it a decimal number, I'm going to make it whole number. All right. So lastly, I'm going to move this item number column to be right next to this item column. Okay, I'll just click on the header and hold it, and move my mouse so that it's going to be located here. Right, and release my mouse. Now this column is going to be located right next to this item column.